get you a slice. What a view. Look at that. So today we are recording in the beautiful Capitola, California, which I previously mentioned. Right now I am walking on the pier, which I've actually never stepped foot on, so that's new and exciting for me. And yeah, so I'm gonna go over some facts about Capitola while we're here. We're gonna wander around the town and give you guys the inside scoop on Capitola. But thanks for watching. So we're on the pier, and in the United States, pier fishing is free. You don't have to have a license or anything, and it's pretty cool because they usually set up fish cleaning. Some piers, they do charge though if you're fishing. He's got a fish in his mouth. It's pretty cool. We got some fishing poles, kayaks, and there are boats over there. We got a nice little restaurant right here. Bet this place is pretty awesome to drink at, like during the summertime. It's October right now, so I guess it's not the best weather, but I think it's actually great weather for this area because it stays between like 50 and 70. I know I'm dress warm, but that's just because I like to be cozy. The weather generally in this area is cool year round, so in the summertime it's typically like in the 70s is the high. So okay, so I'm not sure if you guys can see all the birds, but that's like especially creepy here because in 1961 they filmed, or sorry, they didn't film, but Alfred Hitchcock made a movie based on the incident that happened here. It's called The Birds. Many people have heard of it or watched it, but it's a pretty terrifying incident, and it actually happened here in Capitola. They say that they still don't know what happened. Some theories say that the birds had like some sort of like poison or something. They made them all go crazy. And then they basically attacked everybody in town. So, it's kind of terrifying. Okay guys, so I decided to look it up, the whole birds incident. Okay, here we go. So we had hordes of seabirds that were dive bombing people's homes, crashing into cars, and spewing half-digested anchovies onto their lawns. So Alfred Hitchcock, who was like a frequent visitor of the Santa Cruz area, which if you're not familiar with Capitola, it is in the Santa Cruz area, or Santa Cruz Mountains. It's a very lovely place in central California coast. But anyways, I can only imagine how terrifying that was. So they basically said that there was a toxin that was like produced by algae maybe, and that's what made the birds go nuts and attack everybody. But if it can happen once, it can happen again. I mean, we just saw the incident in Mexico, so that guy was smiling. And he was probably smiling because everybody in California is smiling in this area. We are coming up on a very special and notable part of Capitola, and that is going to be the Venetian condos, and they're beautiful, colorful condos that you can find for rent on Airbnb and Vrbo and probably some other rental sites for a whopping $1,000 a night. And if you don't want to pay that much, you can stay at the hotel, which is actually like the boring, or sorry, not boring, the brown colored buildings that's right behind it. So if you cannot afford $1,000 a night, like most people can't afford it, I think you can stay in the Venetian hotel, which is connected to it. And that's going to be the plain colored buildings that look exactly like the Venetian condos. Here's a little bit of a better view. But I'm going to go onto the beach right in front of them just so you guys can see them real quick. They're really nice. They're in postcards and everything, so. We're gonna walk that way, probably come down here for a second and then go through the town and show you guys that. And then the main beach area, which is over there. This is the pier I was just on. The Pacific Ocean, which is like ridiculously cold. And the very special Venetian condos that we were talking about. So I was reading a little bit about Capitola, and the Venetian condos are actually like historically protected because they're some of the first condos, I think, ever. If you don't know what a condo is, it's a condominium, and it's basically like an apartment that you can own, which is pretty nice. All right, closer look time. So although they're like $1,000 a night, or at least the ones I saw on Airbnb were $1,000 a night, they are pretty freaking big. Like, every single one of them looks a lot bigger than they do from far away. Yeah, here we go. In this area right here is supposed to be private. I don't think anyone's supposed to like walk on it unless they're staying there. But of course people jump over and take pictures in front of the pretty pastel buildings. Kind of reminds me of, you guessed it, Venice. Okay. So in some upcoming videos, we're going to be going to like a lot of the different towns and mountains and stuff like that. Maybe some hiking trails in California, just because California is very expensive, and it's good for you to, you know, research and see what's going on here before you visit. My biggest advice is to bring a good amount of money and to shop at the grocery store if you can, but even that is very expensive, especially on the coast, and especially in the cities. So, for example, our groceries are maybe like 2 or 3 times as much, and I mean that, 2 or 3 times as much as they were in Europe for like the same exact thing. So, just be prepared to spend a lot of money. Imagine owning one of those bad boys. So here's the other side. This is the part that's like actually the hotel. You need the phone number, there it is. And the website. That's pretty cool, but just remember they are separated. So this color building is going to be the hotel, and then the colorful ones are going to be condos, so you'll have to find them on like one of the vacation rental sites. So just remember that if you book here, you're gonna be staying in one or the other, but they're completely separate. Now over here we got some cool restaurants, like right on the water, which is awesome. You have Margaritaville, and then there's Capitola Bar and Grill, Mr. Toots, which is coffee, which we showed you a view of the Venetian from there. And then there's also some other restaurants that way. If you don't know what Margaritaville is, it's a chain. A lot of people love it. BJ and I have been to like 3 or 4, including this one. I wouldn't really say that I would like recommend it on a regular basis, but it's one of those things that's usually like an experience. So. All right, let's look at some prices. Yeah, so like I said, the prices are very expensive. You're gonna see those prices in US dollars. Basically everywhere you go. Here's Margaritaville. The best Margaritaville we went to was in not Jacksonville, Florida. It was in Orlando, Florida, and it was the one that's like inside of Universal. So you do go to one. That one's really nice. And the one in Myrtle Beach is also really nice. This one, it's really small and it's like not themed like the other ones, which is kind of disappointing. But still, if you want to drink, why not, right? Here's Mr. Juice. Okay, now if you are trying to save some money, there's a couple places you can eat here. One of them's Walk Up Pizza Place here, but they have like a lot of them around the area, and that is Pizza My Heart. It's delicious, thin, crispy pizza. We always stop there. You can get a t-shirt souvenir that says Capitola Pizza My Heart and a slice of pizza, big slice of pizza for like $8. So I just, when it's stuff like this, it's just here it is. I know. You're like, what are you doing? Alright, so that one's Walk Up. The best one, in my opinion, is Santa Cruz. In downtown Santa Cruz, and you can get beer there and hang out. And this place is outside and inside to eat. It's cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You know what they say about California, you gotta have a rule against everything. Come early enough in the morning time, there's usually a lot of surfers around different times during the day. And they're usually all like right here. It's kind of fun to watch, especially if you've never surfed or seen somebody else surf. Got some neat restaurants this way too. We got a nice British pub. And we got some Mexican food over there. Some sushi coming up. Look, we're in London. Just kidding. Hi, Queen. Typical London phone booth, of course. And like I said, there's Mexican food across the street. Then there's sushi right there. Lots of different variety of food. Some countries, whenever you like travel to them, you won't see a lot of variety. You'll just see the food from that country, and then when you get into the big cities, you'll see a little bit of variety, but for the most part you won't. But when you come to California, there is a ton of variety for different ethnicities, food. Ice cream shop. Smells delicious. Got a taqueria. Okay, so I'm gonna have to pause real quick because of the loud noise, but that's taqueria, which is another Mexican place. And now we got some good cute beach shops, plastic free shops. Surf shop. Very cute beach store.
That's one that she recommended.
Some English ales. Tasting room. That looks pretty fun. Clothing stores. More clothing stores. Oh, that's fun. The famous Santa Cruz apparel. Gotta get yourself something from Santa Cruz just because Santa Cruz is awesome. One in there. Excuse me. Don't forget to pause if you want to double look at some things here. Really fun town to visit. Lots of stuff to do. Some different types of restaurants that you can visit. This is just like the beach part. There's also like a big mall here, and it's right next to Santa Cruz. So if you want to kind of get away from like the rush of Santa Cruz, which is very busy because of the boardwalk during like the summer season, then Capitola could be a good place to stay. It's expensive, but it's a little less crowded during the summertime, which is always nice. Some people prefer that. Some people like, you know, how hectic Santa Cruz is. So to each their own. We got some Capitola gear, some organic coffee and tea and cold drinks, polar bear ice cream. Their ice cream is very good. Stockton Avenue, which is, you know, if you don't know, Stockton's where we're from, so. Okay, so this place is pretty cool because it's like, it's indoors, so there's a big arcade in there, and then there's a bunch of little shops, some places to eat. Very nice. Alright, so that's where I'm going to end the video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell icon and do everything you can to help me out and show some love. And yeah, cheers.